About the potential charges stemming from this shooting is attorney Keona McGhee. Thanks for being on the show. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
When it comes to Alec Baldwin himself, the actor, this appears to be a tragic accident that could have happened to anyone in that role since he was told the gun was cold. Do you think that if he's found culpable in any way, if not criminally, then in the civil arena?
Oh, definitely. There will definitely 100% be a criminal case to follow this. The young woman who dialed 911 is actually already hired a high-profile attorney who's also investigating this matter as well to follow up with a criminal liability lawsuit. It will be up to the district attorney there in Santa Fe County to determine if Baldwin or Reed or David will file or receive criminal charges. And even in the case that they're not, I would almost guarantee that there will be a civil lawsuit to follow.
But against him specifically, just talking about Baldwin now, because any actor who was handed a gun, who was told that it didn't have a live round in it, this could have happened to anyone. However, he's also a producer on the film.
Exactly. That's the catch for him. He's also the executive producer on this film. And with the report saying that there is knowledge of this assistant director having previous incidents with discharging a weapon on just 2019, this happened with this same person, it will be the defense's job to prove that there was not any negligence in hiring this person, knowing that this role would require him to again handle weapons. And Baldwin, knowing this, would he be found negligent for not checking again, understanding that this person has a history for being negligent in this manner? Should he have also checked, understanding that the person that handed him the weapon has a history of not checking and being negligent with weapons?
So the burden is on him to, is it possible that he couldn't have known that from the other film set?
It's possible. It's definitely possible. And in the state of New Mexico, they don't have negligent homicide in the state of New Mexico. Instead, they have involuntary manslaughter. And in that arena for criminal law, all that will require is that someone was doing an act that is technically legal, but they were doing it in a negligent manner. And that negligence could just be him not knowing, or him not checking, or him not double checking this weapon to see if there were live rounds in this weapon, especially understanding the person who handed it to him and their history.
So we talked a little bit about the assistant director, the armorer, also in the spotlight, not very experienced. She's just 24 years old. She also was the subject of a previous complaint. According to the New York Times, her attorney denies this, but the New York Times is reporting that she also unexpectedly discharged 2 weapons on another film and that her colleagues called for her firing. It was her job to make sure that these weapons were safe on the set, right? Do you think that she is going to face any liability?
Definitely. This was just 2 months ago that there was complaints about her role on another film. And it's going to call into question whether or not she and the assistant director should have been hired for their roles, understanding that this movie, the set of this movie, was about a 13-year-old who accidentally killed someone, and understanding that guns would be involved in this movie as well. In a civil suit, that will be the question, that if there were safety protocols that were skipped, and was there negligence in hiring? Were these 2 people even qualified to be on a set of this nature, considering their experience or lack thereof? She is definitely in the hot seat for a civil suit as well as criminal liability.
All right, Keona McGhee, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.